Hello, and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode number 108 for the week of March 13th, 2013. I'm Ryan Higgins, who is here with me this week.
Rock Sager.
Toby.
Oh my god, what is happening?
And Charlie.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Not too much.
No Omar this week, no Bryce this week. I was hoping they actually were going to be on because I wanted to do I had a couple of emails about Iron Man 3. I wanted to read and get their takes on, since they were more in the pro Iron Man 3 camp, especially Omar. So we may have to save this. Is next week going to be our entire non-comic related podcast week?
Yes.
Yeah, because we're going to have...
It's all about the Doctor.
We decided...
And partly about Arrow.
Well, if we're going to be talking about Iron Man 3 next week, because I want to do some, back and forth with them about it, we're going to talk the Arrow finale, because that's on Friday. That's on this Wednesday, and we barely talked about Arrow. I love it. Brock, you watched the first couple.
I've seen like 9 episodes.
Okay, but you two have seen them all,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my Wednesday routine.
For some reason, I was under the impression, Toby, that you weren't watching it, but then I was talking to you the other day, and I was like, oh, wait, Toby, you totally watch Arrow. So
Yes.
we will talk Arrow.
Right away.
Yeah, we will talk the Arrow finale next week. And even though I am not caught up, I know we got some guys that want to talk Doctor Who, so we'll talk
We'll
Doctor Who
also
after the
have-
finale.
Yes.
We'll also have Star Trek next week.
Oh, it's Star Trek next week. Oh my god. Okay, so really next week
non-comic book.
it is the non-comic conspiracy.
Yeah.
So
It's fun.
Well,
It's going to be 90% Doctor Who.
it'll be
and 10%
like the best
everything else.
episode we've ever recorded. Just because.
we can talk about our experience at Big Wow.
Damn.
Nah.
Sure. Yeah.
Big Wow, Doctor Who, sorry, dude.
We'll
no
get-
comparison, yo.
Well, no, Big Wow can at least get a minute.
Sure.
No, Doctor Who, Big Wow, no.
We'll get to
I
that.
can tell you now. Only Doctor.
I am. I just finished up Torchwood, and I am on the final season of what's his face? David Tennant, and then I'm gonna watch all the
with
Messman stuff.
with Catherine Tate.
So
Yeah,
so
she's
my
awesome.
my goal is to be completely caught up by the 50th anniversary. This is a goal I set for myself because I've been slacking catching up because I'll burn these little marathons and then I just fall back. So you guys can talk all the spoilers you want. I don't care. I'll forget by the time I actually watch it. So
Well, if you need to borrow anything, just let us know.
yeah. All right. Well,
I even have Miracle Day.
we got a bunch of
You do?
questions here.
Yeah, I'm still missing that one. Well, Charlie would actually even sit down and watch them with you. This is how hardcore
Yes,
Charlie is.
yes, I would.
Miracle Day?
No,
Any of them.
any of it.
Torchwood?
You know how many times I
I
go to
watched
Charlie's place?
Torchwood or Doctor Who or
Yeah, I love Torchwood.
You know how many
Torchwood's
times I
so
go to
good.
Charlie's place and I only mean to drop something off and he goes, do you want to watch an episode? He sucks you in. And I'm like, didn't you watch this already? He goes, yeah, but that's fine.
Hey, I still remember when you came over with your sister to watch
Oh, hey.
Young Justice or something. And
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like, you haven't watched this? I'm like, no, yeah, I watched it. And she's like, well, you want to watch it? And I'm like, I don't care.
No, it's funny because my sister was like, what the hell are you doing? You're forcing your friend to watch it again? I'm like, yeah, but it's normal. We watch things all the time again.
Well, we got some questions here. We'll go through these. A little bit of news this week. Not a ton to talk about, but I'm sure we got some stuff. This is from TPBJ on Twitter. He asks, can you explain all the Mark Millar hate? I've only read Red Sun from him and enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's all
It's all
Ryan.
one-sided.
This is all one-sided.
It's just Ryan Higgins.
Yeah, I'm sure I've told this on the podcast before.
Just tell it again.
But I'll tell it
It's an
again just in
excellent
case.
story.
This goes back a long time, and Ryan Scott of Geekbox was also involved in this as well. So
This is like a message board time, right?
well, it is tough being
Spoilers,
professional,
Brock, spoilers.
right? Because you have to balance a personal life and everything with this public persona. So I can imagine it's very difficult. With Mark Millar, I was a huge fan of his. If you go back 10, 12 years ago, my 3 favorite writers were Mark Millar, Warren Ellis, and like Brian Michael Bendis. I mean, how the time.
the times have changed.
Yeah. You know what? I've actually come around on Bendis. I don't know what it is, but his Avengers stuff, I think I'm just so far past it at this point that I'm like, yeah, these are actually kind of fun stories. I've really turned on Bendis about the last year or two, way more than I had been prior, especially like post Marvel now. I think he's off Avengers. I'm almost kind of like, oh, and now I like Bendis again. I think that really was a catalyst for it. But Mark Millar specifically, this is when Civil War was coming out, and at the point I was working at the comic store. When was Civil War? 05? 06? When the hell was Civil War?
I think it was 06 because it wasn't House of M 05.
Yeah, that sounds
Look
right.
there.
Yeah, that sounds right. Let me see if I can tell when Civil War came out from Marvel. Well, whenever it was. 06, 07. So yeah, I probably just bought the comic store at that point because I bought it in October of 06.
No, that's when I came back.
Oh yeah.
So I think I came back at the tail end of like Civil War. Like Civil War just finished up, or it was like taking place.
Because like Disassembled was like end of 04.
Yeah.
Into House of M.
House M was 05.
05.
Scary to think that's like 5 years ago, and I remember it like yesterday.
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Civil War still getting those Michael Turner covers.
I've been working
You mean
here for
7 years ago?
Is that? Oh, Jesus Christ!
working here for like 6 years.
Yeah.
God.
So when this book was coming out,
This was the biggest slap in the face book in the history of Ryan Higgins.
Oh! I'm not even going to go. This actually has nothing even to do with Speedball and the New Warriors.
I still just remember when that first issue came out and just the utter disdain you had.
Someone
for it.
actually, the next question here is about the New Warriors, so we'll get to that in a minute. But no, what caused this complete breakup with Mark Millar was this. When the book was coming out, I don't remember what issue number it was. It was around issue 3 or 4, maybe. The book was running wildly late. And Steve McNiven, who was the artist on it, amazing artist, had publicly stated, hey, Marvel came to me with this book really fast. I'm doing it as fast as I can, but I'm a slow artist. This is not, I don't remember exactly how he worded it, but he was public that, yes, the book is late. It's my fault. It's a very short schedule. I'm working as fast as I can. Marvel at the time decides that, hey, look, because we don't want the books coming out to spoil the events of Civil War, we're actually going to delay Amazing Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Avengers, and a number of other books a couple months. That no issue came out from Amazing Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and a few others because they were going to spoil events from Civil War. Now, from a reader point of view, sure, that sucks, right? From a retailer point of view, these are very important, key cornerstone titles to get customers in the store, profitable titles, that especially part of this huge crossover that you want people to pick up. So as a retailer, I was pissed, and I'd been on Mark Millar's forum, Miller World, and then a very brief stint on the previous engagement of the Wildstorm message boards at DC back when he was still on Authority. And I had grown a good friendship with a lot of the fans on there, which to this day I still have a very good friendship with a lot of them. So this to me was more than just like a message board. This is a place where people I talk to every single day and interacted with these people. These are
now
people,
Ryan doesn't leave the comic book shop, so those are his real friends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've met a lot of these people in real life. We've hung out together. Some of them are local. A lot of them aren't. I've gone together with like drink up and meetups with them up at Isotope. They've come down here. I've met a lot of the guys I now hang out and talk to on Twitter. A lot of people in the comic press. Few now creators, right? So these people all kind of came from this group here.
Cool.
So Mark Millar's reaction was, "Oh well, it doesn't matter. All that matters is Civil War coming out. We don't care. I don't care about the rest of the comics. All I care about is a good-looking trade paperback in 6 months." And this was his best friend. What's his face from Ultimates? The hell's his name?
Hitch.
Brian Hitch. Kind of jumped on this whole bandwagon and was like, oh yeah, anyone complaining about late comic books is a virgin and blah, blah, blah. And that's a quote, too. That's a word-for-word quote, because I'll remember that to the day I die, probably.
Still a virgin?
Oh, yeah, you know it. And
Shit, really?
and that, to me, was just like the biggest slap in the face, not only to your fans, but to the creators of the other books, but to retailers in your own company, the people that make money off your comic books, the people whose livelihood depend on this. And there was a giant blowout with a bunch of fans, a bunch of people against Mark Millar. And I mean, I got personal emails from him and stuff, just screaming at me. And it was just a terrible, terrible falling out between a bunch of fans, and I felt very betrayed by this creator. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, now it's like, whatever. I'll never read another book, another thing. I will look at Jupiter's Legacy, but I will have a hard time reading that. And Ryan Scott was part of this too, because he was on the forum and he sort of backed up, and we all got banned from the website and everything like that. And so, and a lot, it's one of those things that, I mean, people might forget when you're nice, but you'll never forget when they're mean to you or rude to you. And I don't think my complaints were not, oh, F you for not putting out a book, you lazy ass. You know, it wasn't anything like that. It was like, hey, look, this is what's happening. And by the way, you threw Steve McNiven under the bus because they were like, oh, it's all his fault, blah, blah, blah. It was a terrible situation. And how the guy ended up, you know, I don't know.
Let's put it this way. I mean, I understood and I know where Mark Millar is coming from.
Sure.
You know? I mean, it would be kind of weird to have a nice drawn, you know, hardcover book, and then in the middle there's 2 issues of really horrible art fill-in issues.
Well, welcome to every comic ever made.
So I understand their standpoint, but what they didn't think about was that delaying 20, 30 books means that's 20, 30 books that you're not selling, and that's rent money you still have to make.
Right.
I would have to assume a lot of this just came down to sort of poor planning in terms of the pacing of when you had the crossover issues and everything else. I mean, the way he handled it and what he said was fucking bullshit because it doesn't actually address the problem, which is the fact that books were not actually coming out. It had nothing to do with whether or not Civil War was ready to go to.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he didn't fully understand what Ryan's problem was. I mean, here's Ryan having a comic book shop, having to pay employees, having to pay rent, having to pay electricity, and 90% of the Marvel books are not coming out for 3 years.
It's the flagship titles that you're not selling.
Yeah.
The ones that ones that you're actually making money on because you're selling 50 plus copies aren't coming out. So you're sitting there trying to.
And it's not like Marvel replaced us with other titles or anything else. They're just not there.
That for me is kind of where this was more something for Marvel to deal with than for him. Like, if I were him, I would have just shut up and let Marvel deal with the sort of backlash of it.
I mean, it wasn't his battle to fight.
Right. Yeah. I mean, technically, it's Steve McNiven's fault. He wasn't doing the art fast enough. Despite clearly he said, I told Marvel I can't do it this fast. You know, he was very upfront about this stuff and very public about it at the time. And so I don't blame him. It was his responsibility, but clearly it was not something he was able to fulfill. I don't blame him, though. I blame, and Marvel, I was mad at Marvel, but all they could have said, hey, we're going to double ship the books. Ironic. We could have done something in order to remake up this money and to get back on a proper shipping schedule. There was all sorts of things they could have done. And the writer on the book mouthing off and banning a bunch of people from their website for being mad was not the way to go. So
no, I agree with you.
I mean, I have other issues with Mark Millar, especially kind of post Ultimates 1, maybe.
Well, Mark Millar said Ryan looks funny, has big ears, and his mother smells funny.
Hey.
And,
I have writing all these artists, creating all these movies, or creating all these comic books to be movies with no interest in the comic book.
Well, I think when I came back,
drawing people to make them look like actors in order to try to get the actors to be in his movies. Like, he didn't give a fuck about comic books anymore.
Sam Jackson.
Yeah, he doesn't give a crap about comic books anymore. And I'll argue that to the end, to the day I die, because he's about Hollywood now. So F that.
Well, the thing is like when I came,
he is now, isn't he?
You're right, and that's what I said.
Marvel at Fox,
he's been like that for a long time. But
for years.
When I came back into the shop when Civil War was ending and stuff, I read Ultimates and I enjoyed it, and I was reading some of the, I didn't get to read Red Sun until recently, but it's really good. I liked Old Man Logan, even though the ending was weird and not good, but going through and reading all the stuff after Civil War from him, it's like you said, Kick-Ass. I was reading Kick-Ass and it lost me when it was just, okay, let's be as outrageous and stupid as possible, and then the comic book gets delayed so they can work on the movie, and it's like, why don't you just put out just complete the comic so you can
disregard for the comic.
Yeah, and then it's I've tried reading some things from him recent, and it's like it's all just trying to get Hollywood to make another movie, and it's garbage. I mean, 1985, which I thought was going to be a fun title, sucked.
Didn't read that one.
Horrible. It was so effing bad, and yet it was like a nice kind of the idea for the story I enjoyed. But his how he gave it to us sucked.
Yeah.
But it's, most of the stuff from him now, even Jupiter's Legacy, I read it. I wasn't impressed.
No,
Quietly's artwork, beautiful.
Yeah, I'm all there for the art. So.
But
so I know Toby's there for the art too.
Not with Quietly.
I know, I'm joking. Well, we got a few more questions here, so we can. Yeah, I'll always bash on Mark Millar if need be.
Well, thank you, Mark Millar, for getting me $80 from Kick-Ass.
I'm actually wondering what the last, as you said, Ultimates 1 and even Ultimates 2 for me, Well, I understand you. As you said, you could say they were made for movie, but that's part of what I liked about them is they kind of had this big sort of cinematic
feel,
feel to them.
Ultimates 2 is when I started to see sort of the cracks because I was like, this is where I'm starting to lose it, and by the end of Ultimates 2,
I think Wanted was the kind of the catalyst when Wanted was a good comic, but the movie was
that was him drawing Eminem to be the main character, and that's when
Halle Berry to be Fox.
That's when it started. Wanted was when it all started, and then Kick-Ass just took it off, and then he made all these other things. And what a surprise! They're all being pitched for TV movies from his buddies and everything. It's like stupid.
Wanted was a fun book, though. I like it.
And
Wanted was a great book.
And I'm terrified that we're going to lose like Ed Brubaker to the same thing because he's gone from comics now, so he's off in Hollywood and all that. And it's like, well, there you go.
Well, maybe we get better movies.
Yeah, possibly. Timothy,
maybe we'll get a good Justice League movie.
Tiny Tim on Twitter asks, and this is one we can all be excited for. How excited are you guys for the New Warriors omnibus, which releases Wednesday?
I don't think Ryan ordered for me because I owe Ryan lots of money still.
I don't expect that'll stay in print very long, so
See, this is me
give me some money in advance. What do you got?
I'm pretty sure Ryan would have ordered it for you anyways, just because of what it is.
No, that wasn't a time where me and Ryan were kind of like...
I thought he was just going to order it and give it to us all as a gift, saying, here's your New Warriors.
I'd have 300 of them, one to every customer that walks in.
You would do that with everybody here except for me. He'd be like, sorry, Toby, you still owe me too much money.
No. And he
Either
also
that or he's waiting until it goes on the clearance list.
Yeah.
That's your luckier bet. But he wants to know. No, I think that's the reason I didn't order it because you're like, it's going to be on the clearance list. I'll just get it when it's half off.
No, I was legitimately thinking about, wanting it, but knowing how much I owe you, I was like, dude, that's a shitload of money still.
Well,
and I couldn't decide on which cover.
Well, he says, what do the rest of you think of the series? So we all know my opinion on New Warriors.
Night Trasher forever. He's coming back. In a team up with Nightwing and Gambit.
Okay, let's start with this. For those who don't know, the New Warriors is it was legitimately a popular series from Marvel in the very early 90s, around 75 issues. It was a team book consisting of Nova and Firestar.
Who cares about them? Night Thrasher.
And a brand new creation named Night Thrasher, who's a good character. And they're sort of dealing with street level crime, although they eventually blow up in all sorts of standard superhero fare. But the first 25 issues was very street level type of thing. It was sort of their answer to like Teen Titans or things like that. Yeah. So who actually read it when it was coming out? You read it?
Well, I read
Toby.
it.
You read it like the journal? Yeah. Brock, were you reading it at all when it came out?
No.
Okay. But have you guys read it since?
I read the first
maybe
volume.
a couple of issues here and there, but I've never
Maybe it's
read,
Rage
the
in the
full.
S.H.I.E.L.D. trailer instead of Luke Cage.
Huh? Could be. So do you have any interest in it? Or?
I guess I will say yes, but with a preface. There's very few classic series that I don't have some level of interest in because it's always sort of my ability to read stuff now at large quantities makes it so I'm very curious to read stuff that I missed way back when.
Yeah, I almost have a full run, and I'm just waiting to get your mapping for the bind.
Nice.
So
nice.
The omnibus is nice, but I don't think I'm going to go that route.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to go that route.
I mean, I'll now have the first story arc collected 3 times. So I have the original trade, I have the New Warrior Classics, and now I'll have the omnibus tomorrow.
I think I will go with the
and
Scott
your
Young
bind.
cover.
And my binding, so 4 times, plus my single issue, so 5 times. There you go. I do love the New Warriors so much.
I'm surprised you don't have like a New Warriors tattoo.
On his ass, he does. He just has never seen it.
Like it's on his chest, right?
No, it's on his ass.
New Warriors.
Only Leanne knows about it. She
I do
told
love
me.
the New Warriors. And it was one of those books, too, growing up where this is one of the first comics I read. They were all kind of teenage superheroes, and it was just kind of like it hit me right at the right time. And it
Well, they got a good cast.
Well, and that's the thing. And I always tell people this. I like Superman and Spider-Man and Batman and all that. But my favorite characters are always Nova and Speedball and the Question and Starfire
the characters
and
you can have fun with.
Adam Strange. Just weird, off the wall.
Well, it's funny. Nova and Speedball were my least liked characters in New Warriors.
Oh, I guarantee you like Syl. You like Silhouette. I know you like Silhouette.
I like Silhouette, and I like Namarita, and I like the
I know you
Night
like Night Thrasher. Yeah. Dude on a skateboard, man, fighting
Fuck
crime.
yeah, with Billy Clubs.
Yeah.
Like Nightwing. And he has a helmet.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
And he has a cool 90s name.
I do love the New Warriors.
He does. He had like an 80s, 90s name. Night Trasher.
There's no
superhero named Night Trasher anymore.
There's even a great part of, it was one of the crossovers of Spider-Man. I don't remember which one it was.
Maximum Clonage?
No, it was one before that.
There was a few of them with Spider-Man that the New Warriors were in, but one of them, he's even like, who the hell are you? And he's like, I'm Night Thrasher. And he's like, Night Thrasher? He's like, that sounds like something naughty you do at night, like, when your parents aren't home or something like that, like, behind closed doors. And he's like, what? It's good stuff.
Swilla was pretty bad as her sticks.
Yeah, she was great. She was great. And I mean, it was one of those books that, it had a very diverse cast, which is...
It would make a really good cartoon, actually.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was one of those things where you had, 3 prominent black characters, Night Thrasher, Silhouette, and...
Rage.
Rage 4. Yeah. Rage, and then his handler guy, I forget his name. The guy that he worked with.
Oh.
And you call yourself a New Warriors fan?
I totally forgot about him, too.
I'm totally blanking on the guy's name. And then Ty, who was like the Asian lady that ended up being the villain. But, I mean, it was a fairly diverse cast comparatively to...
I just think it's cool they had a nanny.
Yeah. It was like Night Thrasher's... What? Oh, my God. I am going to kill myself. What is his name? Night Thrasher's... kind of like
he had a brother,
adult, later in the more recent ones, but like it was like Night Thrasher's kind of like bodyguard handler type guy, because Night Thrasher got this huge inheritance from his parents, and so it was like him and like Silhouette was like, or not Silhouette, Ty was like their like Asian nanny sort of, that ended up being like this evil lady, but that's
all nannies end up being evil.
Sure. She was like the Fu Manchu she was like the Mandarin of Asian women. Like, she looked like a villain from the very first time you saw her. I'm like, well, clearly she's bad. Look at her, she looks horrible. There you go. It's good stuff. I'm gonna go crazy trying to remember what this guy's name is, but we'll move on. Heroes and Villains podcast. That's at HV Podcast. You should go listen to their podcast. It's good stuff. Wasn't Jordan? Am I crazy? Was Jordan on? Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on the podcast a few weeks ago. Jordan from Infinite Longbox. Yep. So
Jordan.
Yes, I got to actually listen to that episode. I saw that he was on that, so you can go listen to Jordan over there. He asks, who are your favorite Charlton characters?
A what?
Charlton. Who here knows Charlton?
Nope. The only one I know is Phantom. Right?
Those Flash Gordon, Phantom, the Sorcerer.
No. Charlton was the
Blue Beetle
company, right? Charlton was the company that it was a rival superhero company that went out of business, and DC bought them and moved all their guys into their company, including Blue Beetle, Captain Atom, The Question, Nightshade, and was the inspiration for Watchmen. Watchmen was supposed to be a book about the Charlton characters, and then he ended up just kind of taking them and, kind of putting them together and mixing up some of the stuff, and it became,
Question.
It became, well, of course, a question.
Yeah, question.
Question.
Although I like Nightshade. He's the villain, isn't he?
Nightshade?
Yeah, isn't he a Green Arrow villain now? Or am I remembering
Nightshade.
wrong?
No, it's the girl?
Yeah, Nightshade. She's in Suicide Squad.
Okay, I'm remembering wrong. Isn't there a Knight something and Green Arrow who is a villain and he entrusted him with something? It was like in the Archer's Quest storyline. No, isn't he Knight something?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I like Blue Beetle.
I'm trying to think who else was on here. Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt.
Captain Atom would be my number 2.
Peacemaker. Yeah, Captain Atom. I have a very different take on Captain Atom.
Peacemaker. Did he still have that ridiculous helmet?
Yeah, probably. They published a lot of different books from the early late 40s, maybe very early 50s, into the 80s, and then went out of business. DC bought them, but then during Crisis moved all their characters over. I mean, Question is
sounds like Wildstorm.
Yeah. Question is clearly, I would say, maybe the quote unquote best, but Blue Beetle. I maybe just got to give it to Blue Beetle because everything they've done, the Ted Cord Blue Beetle was the one that crossed over at the end. God, I love Blue Beetle. He's so great. I mean, I love the Question. The Question's awesome, but I got to be different. I got to say Blue Beetle because he's such a fun character.
You can't take mine.
Oh, well, he said Question.
Go with Captain Atom.
Of course, I said Question.
I never got into Captain Atom in any form. I really never got into Captain Atom. Like he's fine. I don't dislike him, but he's just a military guy and big powers.
I think the problem, because reading Justice League International, and then reading the current installment of it, and then reading Captain Atom at the tail end before the New 52, I liked what they were doing with him before the New 52.
Yeah,
where it's he would build up this power, and then it's here, shoot into the future. And you're going to be stuck there for as long as until you're whatever depletes.
Yeah,
and it's kind of this nice kind of excuse for Elseworld stories.
Yeah.
Well, I also liked when he crossed over into the Wildstorm universe with the Armageddon, Captain Adam Armageddon.
Captain Armageddon.
That was good.
All right. Well,
he's a fun character. I especially liked him on the Justice League cartoon. When it went unlimited and all that.
The question.
Cartoon. No, Captain Adam.
Oh, Captain Adam. Well, the question was amazing in Justice League Unlimited. Yeah.
When has the question not been amazing in any form?
Yeah. All right. Well, we got a couple news stories to talk about here.
Even when he dies and becomes Renee Montoya, the question still is awesome.
Renee Montoya was great.
Yes.
Announced last week, we were finally getting info on Grant Morrison's Wonder Woman book that he's been working on for what seems like forever.
A little tiny bit of info.
But at least we got an official name, an official thing that this exists. And I'm going to create a website, by the way, called isitoutyet.com, and it's just going to be a big thing. It says Grant Morrison's Multiversity. No, because Multiversity is never going to happen. I'm sorry.
Adam Hughes' Wonder Woman?
Yeah, All-Star Wonder Woman. That'll be on the list too. But let's just Wonder Woman Earth 1 by Grant Morrison and Yannick Paquette, who most recently did Swamp Thing.
Can we actually make a huge deal when something actually does finish?
Sure.
Like when Planetary finally finished after years?
Yeah. I mean, Morrison, every year, Multiversity is out next year. So whatever. If it happens, it happens. I don't care anymore. Wonder Woman Earth 1, though, by Grant Morrison. I'm very interested about this. The Earth 1 books have all been pretty interesting, just their takes on it. And there's one page put up one panel basically put up with the art. And man,
beautiful.
Yannick Paquette,
Was it Rucka who got really upset over that?
The panel?
No, the Wonder Woman.
Why?
I'm trying to remember. Somebody was promised to be able to do the book before Morrison if he did some other book, and then...
Oh, I have some vague recollection of that from last year or something, but I don't remember who it was. It may have been Rucka.
Yeah, I just remember that they quit DC over basically broken promises.
Rucka did leave DC, so...
I'm just happy we're getting an actual Grant Morrison story in a trade format. Not this single issue crap.
Well, this is it. I mean, Multiversity and Wonder Woman, and that's it. That's all the last of Morrison's DC work. So it's almost over. And
maybe. For now.
Well, for now. Year. But I don't know what else he has.
So as long as it never comes out, he will always have some DC.
Always
work.
have some DC work. Yeah. But it sounds like next year, so that's cool. But again,
not holding my breath.
I wouldn't hold your breath for any sort of release date coming up. DC did announce something that is coming up pretty soon, though, and that is they're doing because Batman Incorporated is about to finish, but after it ships, they're going to do a Batman Incorporated special with
which sounds awesome. Actually.
Yeah, it should be cool. It's like a random creative teams, no Grant Morrison, of course, but however, there is a story in here that I've been waiting for a couple years now.
Even since before it existed.
Yes. Before I knew it existed, I knew I wanted it. We are going to be getting...
Sin City 2 by Robert Rodriguez.
No. What? No. We are going to be getting...
Speedball back.
An original solo...
In DC.
Hey, I'll be fine with that. An original solo story by Dan DiDio, but by Ethan Van Sciver. Of Batcow.
Nobody cares.
Yes. What do you mean nobody cares?
I care.
It's Batcow. No, it's more like Moo-hoo. Batcow is awesome. I love Batcow.
What does he do? Just chew his cud?
He's a cow with the bat symbol on his face.
He's going to be a sad cow now because Damien's gone.
But that means Batcow's going to be out kicking some ass. Dude, Batcow. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I'm so excited. I love Batcow.
Yeah, he hated Iron Man 3.
Yeah, I like good things. What can I say? Who doesn't like Batcow?
I don't.
It's a cow with a bat symbol on it that fights crime with Damien.
What is a squirrel with a bat symbol on it?
Now we're talking. Yeah. Now we're talking. I'm all about the bat squirrel.
Well, we got Badig. Now we can have Bat Dig, right? I mean, we can have.
I'm all right with the cow. A man-eating cow crossover with Batcow, and then I'll be happy.
I would be okay with this.
I'm all right with a cow. Coming from Switzerland, all I saw was cows out the window, so I'm down with a bat cow.
Yeah.
One of those cows with Batman.
Yeah.
At night, when I go to sleep, it goes and slays other bad people.
Yeah, bat cow.
When you talk about bat cow, all I see
squeezes
is
them with milk.
Man-eating cow with Batcow.
No,
perfect crossover.
Whenever you say bat cow, all I see is like a 1-page with like 8 panels, and it's the
don't lie. You see the zombie fucking the cow like in that one book
that Frank Cho book,
Frank
Zombie
Cho.
King, which I think we still have it in the Quarterman.
It's collectible, man.
Yeah. No, every time you say bat cow, all I see is the 8 panels, and all I see is that blue. Was it bull from Jack of Fables sitting there with a Batman costume on? That's it. And I'm you know what? That's going to be your story. Is Batcow sitting there going...
So Jack of Fables kind of lost me.
It lost everybody.
The cow
at the end
in Jack of Fables
awesome.
was amazing. Yeah. That was the best part of every issue, or whenever he showed up. That was the best part.
No, he was like at the end of like every issue.
It wasn't every issue, but it became fairly regular by the end there. Yeah, that was good stuff.
So when are they going to just start putting out Fables omnibuses so I can buy them that way?
Oh, I'm sure
there's going to be a Fablesopedia.
Yeah.
Didn't they start that? Oh, it's the hardcovers.
Yeah, but they're weird hardcovers.
Announced today, we'll talk about this real quick. The new solicitations, DC did announce Fablesopedia. It's a Fables encyclopedia. That's kind of cool. But also announced in DC today is the cancellation of 4 titles, 4 of their low-selling titles, so no surprise.
We're going to do a drum roll?
It surprised me a little.
Let's do it.
Don't do that.
2 of them surprised me.
So in the not surprising list is Dial H.
Yeah, thank God.
Wah, wah.
I tried. I really tried.
So did I.
I think I gave it 4 or 3 issues.
Wait, isn't there 4? I only see 3 listed here. There's Dial H, Demon Knights, which is unfortunate.
Oh, I'm very sad about that.
I think
Demon Liquid
Knights.
just slit his wrists.
Demon Knights has been great.
Legion
Superheroes, which Mark Waid had a fucking freak out about this morning, even though he was totally wrong about everything.
He was even talking to you.
Even though he was totally wrong about everything he said. Sorry, Mark Waid.
And he was talking to you. And he said you were wrong.
I replied to him. There have been many times. He was freaking out that, like, oh, they just canceled 40 years of Legion. Like, dude, Legion has had breaks between, like, almost every series. This is the 7th volume of Legion Superheroes, dude. Like, we've had Legion on top of Legion Superheroes.
Now, does Mark Waid read all these? Or does he just buy them and collects it?
I don't think he reads any of it. I don't think he reads any of the New 52. Exactly. He doesn't read them anyway.
I think he does read some of it.
Maybe. But we've had Legion, we've had Legionnaires, we've had The Legion, we've had Legion Lost, we've had Adventure Comics. I mean, we've had all these things that aren't Legion as superheroes. And the giant rumor that's been going around for a while is that Legion of Superheroes is going to be canceled to be replaced with, like, quote-unquote, the Justice Legion. Basically a very trimmed-down Legion of Superheroes, 5 to 7 members like the Justice League, and be more tied in, which... That's cool. If it's a good creative team, that's awesome.
No, it's just a gimmick because they're just slapping Justice on it.
Well, but sure, who cares though? Look at Marvel.
You can't blame them for trying to sell more books.
Yeah, Marvel has taken,
Bull's reign on every book.
If you can't beat them, join them, right? I mean, Marvel has put Avengers on every single title or X-Men on every single title, and some sell great and some don't. But for the most part, Avengers Academy and Dark Avengers sell more than Runaways miniseries.
When do you think that?
Runaways is shit.
And Thunderbolts with the same creative.
Where
team.
do you think the breaking point is, though?
There is none. I don't think there is a breaking point. I mean, that's the whole point. It's if it sells, it sells. The breaking point if it sells or not, because I don't. To me, it doesn't matter. Now, also in the solicitations today, they announced that Superman Unchained #3 is going to have 10 variant covers.
Wow,
and that's like. Oh,
the hell?
Like, okay, I get it for 1. Okay, I'll give you 2.
Are they doing 3? All Wildstorm guys?
Issue
Maybe
3?
then I'm in.
See,
Carlos Danda does one.
To me, I'm like, general reaction is the same. I still can't help but look at it and go, that's going to be awesome for you in terms of math.
Well,
I don't understand why there's 10 variants on a random issue.
Because it's Jim Lee. Because it's money, number one sales chart.
Like,
those variants will cause that book to be number one every month it comes out.
Yeah, but it's going to be every issue is going to have 10 variants?
Probably while Jim's on it. But here's my thing. I mean, I think it's stupid to do it, but I guess more power to you because people are going to buy them. But, I will front load an issue number one because it's an issue number one.
Yeah.
2 and on, though, I'm ordering what I sell. I don't order for variants. Like, the worst case, if it's like, it's 47, I order 48 copies, and 50 will get me a variant. Okay, I'll bump you by 2. If I order 45 or 40, I'm not going to bump it to get that variant. No,
I guess
never
here's
will.
my curiosity, just because this was the only, at least the number one. I don't know about the number 2 or the number 3.
They're not even
but
variants?
The number 1 was one of those weird cases where you hit numbers and you actually got 2 variants.
Well, they had, right, and I'm assuming this is going to be the same going forward, that at 300 copies, right, at 300 copies ordered, you got a 300, you got 4 1 in 75s, and there were 2 different 1 in 75 variants. You would then get 8 1 in 50 variants, and there were 2 1 in 50 variants, and I think there was 2 1 in 25 variants. Yeah, and then you get 12 of those. Yeah. So there was there at 3, and then you get the 1 in 300 sketch variant. So at 300 copies, they've now continued that for 2 and 3 matching the variants.
Well, I'm not saying that you necessarily have to get to the 300 mark, but I would
300 is sort of the package deal to get all the variants in an equal form because they're doing it at 25, 50, and 75.
But
at 75,
at the same time, I would expect it to be worth getting to like that next, like, say you order 75, I would think it would be worth getting to 100, given the fact that you'd get 2 more of the 25s, you'd get 100, you'd like.
I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, it could be for some people, but I mean, I wouldn't. Not 25 copies. No, not for issue 2, not for issue 3, not for issue 4. Issue 1, maybe. That's fine. I mean, it could be.
Well, just in terms of doing the math, I would think
But there are going to be so many of those online. This is not a book where people are going to be losing out on. And, I mean, the 1 in 300s will bring the money. The 1 in 75s won't go for very much because everyone will be getting a lot of those. Now, 2 and 3 and on, they may get more money for those because I don't think as many people will be ordering in that quantity. I mean, I ordered 300 number 1. I mean, I could probably order 150 of number 2. If they had a 1 in 150 variant, I'd hit that. But this will sell Justice League numbers while Jim Lee's on. Like original, this will sell triple digit, getting high into close to 200 for I would guess most stores. For mid tier stores like ourselves.
So, do you think the combination of getting 2 variant covers of 1 in 25 will half the value of a 1 in 25, or what do you think it will do to the actual, like, this is just, as I said, crunching the math in terms of when you do something like this with the variant covers and stuff, if the 1 in 25s, I'm assuming they wouldn't go for cover price.
I would guess the eBay price on the 1 in 20. I know this is fascinating. I'm sure the eBay price on the 1 in 25. Hey man, this is retailer shit. This is the shit that I talk about behind the counter. I know. So all you people listening get to hear this stuff because it's interesting to me. So well. The 1 in 25s will get $10. That'll be the going price for the 1 in 25s. The 1 in 50 will probably be about $20. The 1 in 75 will probably be about $30 or $35. That's my guess on the eBay price.
You're not going by the numbers anymore. It's the 1 in 25 being $25.
They don't do that. They do not sell for that price.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean maybe occasionally they will, but you're roughly half.
Because that was a general rule.
Roughly
for a while
30
there.
to 40%. Yeah.
So based on that math, if you just ordered up to the 75, so you'd get 2 of the.
Or you get 6 of the 1 in 25s.
Yeah, 6 of the 1 in 25. So you're at $60 there. Right. You'd get 2 1 in 75s.
Yeah.
So that's another $60 there. So you already have $120 of estimated money from buying those 75 copies.
Yeah, but remember the book's also $4, costing retailers $2 plus shipping at 75 copies. I mean, yeah, it is. The variants do make the book profitable almost at any point, and the book's going to sell. It's Jim Lee and Scott Snyder on Superman. Yeah. Come on, it's going to sell crazy. But I think doing these 1 in 300 variants and then extending 10 variants through probably the first arc, that's some crazy talk.
Well, that's them just cashing in from the movie.
Sure, of course, but that's some crazy talk. And the variants have to be interesting. If it's Joe Schmo, I mean, they have good names on them, but it's like they really need to.
Well, no, I'm just saying that, like, I do wonder.
Go hog wild for issue number 1.
Just from the crazy sort of variant prices and stuff, just how much that affects. Most issues, if you order 25 copies, no variant, you have to sell X amount of those copies for the book to even be profitable. You have to...
Right.
Where having like a variant like this almost front loads that number to a much lower number.
Yeah. I think you could still be profitable at a lower amount,
but you don't want to get stuck with all the excess. That's the thing is that's the Uncanny Avengers number 1. It's like, why buy it for cover price when it's going to be in the dollar bin like 2 months later?
Threshold is the other book that got canceled. That's what it was. Right. Because they were launching Larfleeze.
They hadn't canceled that yet?
No, it's because they're launching Larfleeze next month. Yeah. So that's why. Because that's the only reason why. But yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense to do all these crazy variants, but I question them for doing them, this many of them, but I guess we'll see if people buy them. It will be a bunch. I'm sure DC will be stuck with a ton of 1 in 300 variants that people aren't going to order because. But then if the book doesn't go, but then if people aren't ordering them, those 1 in 300 variants become expensive, and then more people will want them, so more people will pay money for them, so maybe more people will go for them. Whatever. DC's going to make a shitload of money. Retailers are going to make a shitload of money. Comic book fans are going to spend a shitload of money. And then there you go. So that's all. I
still want the Batman Hush retailer incentive.
Oh, that's a nice one. That's a different. The retailer incentives are different things.
Yeah, really.
Is there going to be a Jim Lee Scott Snyder retailer incentive for Superman at the San Diego meeting? I bet there is. That'll be like cover 14.
That Hush one to this day is still really want it. They never released as a poster or anything either.
Yeah, that's a really nice cover.
Yeah.
All right,
that's more art guy me. I don't care if it's a rare one or not. If that came out as a regular issue, I'd be like framing that shit.
We're actually running like way short tonight, so I got one more thing to talk about. Maybe we'll do some picks.
What?
Holy crap!
Wait.
Without Omar?
Think some stuff.
And what about, what were we going to talk about? There's something important.
We got some Iron Man 3 we're going to talk about here, some numbers.
Agents
box office. Oh, and S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay.
S.H.I.E.L.D. There we go.
Okay,
the hell?
Okay. Hold on.
I've been waiting all podcasts. I got bored and fell asleep, and we're still not talking about S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, Iron Man 3.
Did you do some night thrashing, too?
Oh, yeah, night thrashing.
Iron Man 3.
I woke up for New Warriors.
We're 2 weeks in on Iron Man 3, right?
It's battling the Great Gatsby.
And, so I saw Great Gatsby. Actually, I'll talk about this very,
I
very
really want to see it.
Do you like Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
Do you know they made a sequel of Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I did not know that.
It is in the theater right now.
It's called The Great Gatsby.
It's called The Great Gatsby.
It's just called Gatsby.
It's called The Great Gatsby. The first half of the movie takes place in Toontown. Okay?
Oh, awesome.
Like, I'm not even joking. It takes place in Toontown.
All right.
Yeah, it is a cartoon.
Okay.
And I use cartoon in like a negative connotation in this matter, not like a. I mean, I love cartoons, and
it's not a true sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. How dare you?
Right. I mean, I turned to Leanne halfway through the movie, and I'm like, oh my god, I love Avengers, and I love Star Trek, and all this stuff with crazy special effects, but I can't. My eyes are burning out of my head. Like, I can't focus on this. And I actually kind of like Moulin Rouge. I hated Romeo and Juliet, but it's like
I like Romeo and Juliet.
I hated that movie. The music's terrible in this movie too. You'd like it though, Toby. It's all your music.
Your music.
But it's like it takes place in Toontown, so yeah, go watch it. But Iron Man 3,
is Jessica Rabbit in it?
Iron Man, basically,
yeah. All right, done deal. I'm watching.
Jessica Rabbit as Throughway of Susie Sue. So
you know the Laserdisc version if you play it frame by frame.
Well, they're all flappers. So Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3, which came out last weekend, still number one on box office this week in the U.S. Made like 75.
It beat the Gatsby?
It did beat Great Gatsby, yeah.
I heard I had some trouble with the Gatsby, though. The Gatsby was making a run for its money.
It's getting close, yeah. Iron Man 3 current domestic gross as of today, or as of this past weekend, $284 million. Foreign, $664 million. Bring us to $949 million. So that'll break $1 billion. Probably before this weekend. So that's one profitable Marvel movie. I mean, it's not going to hit Avengers numbers, but
it's going to get close though.
It'll get up there. Yeah, that's a damn good opening. A couple weeks for Iron Man 3.
See the
Are we going to talk about all the drama behind the scenes?
We didn't really talk about that, huh?
Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah.
I don't think we knew about it last week.
No,
Well, we
after
knew he
I sent
wasn't.
you the article after the fact.
Yeah, I think after we recorded, a lot of the stuff came out about Robert Downey Jr. and basically everyone being totally lowballed by Marvel.
Yeah.
And
Wait, really? No.
and
Well, it already happened once with Terrence Howard.
yeah, they all want to walk. None of them want to do Avengers 2 because of the money.
And Marvel is totally fine with recasting, which I think is
Everyone.
really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know they've kind of set up Robert Downey Jr. as sort of the father figure, the spearhead, of this whole thing, trying to get all these actors. He doesn't need the money, but trying to get the rest of these actors, and some of these guys are kind of up and comers, get them, because, at this point, this movie made guys like Chris Hemsworth, right? I mean, this guy now suddenly can command a ton more money, and he should get it. I mean, he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
And even the small bit
But
players.
that's why Marvel and Disney were smart enough to lock a lot of these people into multi-movie contracts and all that. When those were coming out.
Well, to a certain point. I mean, eventually. I mean, Robert Downey's been in how many Marvel movies now?
Well, Robert Downey's already...
He's done.
He's a free agent at this
well,
point.
he's done at this moment. I mean, they're trying to lock him in for Avengers 2, but he is a free agent at the moment. Yes, as Charlie
from
says.
what I understand, they're trying to lock him in for Avengers 2 and 3.
I mean, I think at this point, if he goes...
anything goes if he goes.
Yeah, that'll be the end of it because...
I mean, here's the problem. Marvel are recasting, Norton with Ruffalo. I had no problem replacing Terrence Howard, who was the moneymaker in Iron Man 1, and the sequel he got offered something like from... I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers out. He was getting like $30 million at first. Like I said, I'm making this up. And then the sequel, he got offered $5 million. I mean, who in the right mind goes, "Oh yeah, sure, lowball me like this. I'll continue working for you." No, he did the right thing and walking away, right? So now they're saying that basically to anyone. They're like, "Well, if you have a problem with your contract and you want to come and get more money, well, that's all right. We're going to just replace you." It's kind of Marvel's deal at this moment. So
it's funny because it sounds like Marvel Studios operates a lot like Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, even then, from what I understand on Avengers, Robert Downey Jr. is the only one that had residuals built into his contract.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just based on that, regardless of what they expected to be paying him to play Iron Man, at this point he's getting paid a shit ton more than they were expecting to pay him.
Yeah, and then the other thing, Marvel is basically saying, well, these actors having the privilege to play an icon, they should just be happy with that too.
Yeah.
So, well, there's a lot of weird things going on with this.
There's a lot of people that aren't privileged to play icons because they get typecast. So look at everyone that was ever on Star Trek or Star Wars.
Yeah.
I losing Robert Downey Jr. would be a huge blow. I mean, I could see it working because we have James Bond. If they took 5-6 years off of Iron Man movies and they didn't have Iron Man and Avengers and they came out with a new Iron Man movie and they cast someone else, fine. But if they want him in Iron Man 3, if they want him in Guardians of the Galaxy, or Avengers 2 and 3, if they want him in Guardians of the Galaxy, if they want him in this other stuff, no, it ain't going to happen.
The other thing is Josh Whedon came out and kind of talked for Kevin Feige.
Joss.
Yeah. All right, fine. Joss, Mr. Charlie Man.
Well, he's if I recall, he has a brother that's named Josh.
Oh, really? Huh. All right, anyways, Joss came out and said, well, it's like the whole structure is kind of messed up. He basically came out and went and talked for Kevin Feige, the producer. He's saying he doesn't know anybody that works more and makes less money than any other producers out there. So the whole infrastructure might be messed up over there at Marvel. When you got the producer guy that's hiring these guys being underpaid and overworked, well, how is he going to overpay people, or not necessarily overpay, but give him more money when he's already underpaid? So the whole infrastructure might be kind of a mess over there. Who knows? I mean, I don't work that, but who knows?
Isn't there like a new TV show that exposes what people make in the job environment? I think it's some reality TV show. They should do that for like the Marvel movies.
Oh, God.
Will never happen, not with Disney.
Well, also from Marvel and also from Disney is the
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show, which got its first promo for the pilot.
Yes, Luke Cage.
And
sort of crazy quick. It was sort of like the big announcement. It's been picked up. Here's a trailer.
Yeah, but it's a teeny trailer, though. It's like a teaser trailer.
Yeah, but they've already filmed it and everything like that. So
I'm just saying that, like, literally they had everything ready to go for the announcement. They've officially picked it up.
Well, this is just all the stuff from this is just from the pilot. I would assume, because obviously they haven't done any other filming. Maybe they have. I don't know, but I'm assuming this is all from the pilot. But they're not shying away from superhero stuff in it. There's a clear superheroism and powers and stuff in it. Whether that's Power Man in that shot or not, or a brand new character, we don't know. But
who cares? It's got Coulson.
Yeah, but I'm hoping they won't shy away from it. I mean, how many TV shows that happened? I mean, like Birds of Prey. They had a whole Batman universe. Even if you say Batman is not on the table, but they had a whole Batman universe to grab from, and they didn't really do it till the end. And even then, it was pretty bad.
I don't mind if they come up with new S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and stuff like that, but if you're going to use heroes and villains, use real characters.
Yeah, and even if they're C and D-list characters and you don't want to, people that you don't want to use,
I mean,
save them from the movies.
If you have to have a speedball, then have a speedball.
Speedball will be in the show, and a higher Huppa chick in the show. I'm all for it,
because they can bring in Jessica Jones, Alias. They could bring.
I'm sure they will.
Oh, that would be awesome.
They can bring in.
I mean, also the spin-off opportunities are endless here, right?
They could bring in a lawyer, Matt Murdock, the Marvel head.
We're gonna have a whole lawyer
sequence. They're not going to do that unless they're 100% sure they're not moving forward on a movie.
But who cares about the actor? They can replace him if they want.
Yeah.
No, Marvel already said there's no Daredevil movie planned. Because they got Daredevil, Blade, Punisher. They got all of them back now.
Punisher could show up in the S.H.I.E.L.D.
Sure,
show.
Sure, it could. Anyone,
and they could do a whole Heroes for Hire spin-off.
Hell of a season finale,
and of course, you bring in AIM, because you could bring in AIM from Iron Man 3, but you could also maybe bring in Evil Thunderbolts.
Beekeeper suits.
They better be. But can I just say, real quick shout out here.
Is it called AIM or AIM? I always call them AIM.
Well, this will be my pick of the week, but you guys go ahead. So we'll talk about my pick in a minute here. But Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Very excited. Trailer looks awesome. Go Google it. You'll find it.
Already posted on the forum too.
Yeah, it looks great. I'm really excited for this. So it's fall, right? I'm assuming fall pickup. So Coulson looks great.
I didn't look at what day.
I better not be Sunday.
As long as I can program my TiVo, I don't care the day.
Yeah. They could pull a Lost on the pilot and basically make it a movie. Lost, the pilot at the time, had the biggest budget for a TV pilot of all time.
Isn't Zos directing it?
Yeah.
The pilot?
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh, that would be awesome. I have no
idea. I have no idea.
In the pilot, I'm pretty sure he directed the pilot.
That'd be okay with me. I mean, they could make the pilot, like I said, like Lost did, make it a movie.
Have you seen the new Monsters, the Mockingbird Lane? Which are written by Brian Fuller, directed by Bryan Singer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I heard about that. Yeah,
he directed the pilot.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
And then Hawaii Five-0 got directed by the guy who did the Underworld movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of big directors doing TV stuff lately.
That's cool. That's cool.
I mean, technology is cheaper. Things could be spectacular.
Yeah. All right. You guys want to do some picks of the week before we get out of here?
We're waiting for your lead-in.
No, you guys, I gotta
you
grab
had
it.
This really
I gotta go grab it. Someone want to grab jump on here?
What?
Who's got a random pick of the week?
Random pick of the week.
Anyone
you go first, Brock.
Why do I always have to go first?
Because I want to make sure I'm not going to steal your random pick of the week.
I didn't get to read it.
It's your segment, Brock. You should be prepared at all times
week,
for it.
Charlie.
Doesn't matter.
So I'm not going to randomly steal your pick of the week?
No, you're not going to steal it.
Yeah, you did. Whatever you say, he's going to be, damn it, that's the one I was going to pick.
No, it's not.
Only I have a comic book that he will not say that because it's some weird shit that he probably never read.
Okay, I guess I can talk about my random pick of the week then while you guys figure this out. When they relaunched Avengers, I was excited. Jonathan Hickman was taking over. However, 10 issues in, I was less than thrilled with the outcome of Avengers. I really did not care for the book. New Avengers, fantastic. Love New Avengers. The main Avengers book, have not liked. I can't.
So I'm waiting for the Until.
I can't stress it enough. Until issue number 11 shipped this week. Which, where was this book the whole time? Because this issue was awesome. Did you read this, Charlie?
Yeah.
Okay. It's Spider-Woman and Black Widow and Miss Marvel and Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi?
Yeah, and they basically go and infiltrate this sort of rogue state island. I don't know if it was AIM Island.
Moon Knight isn't. I'm buying the book right now.
Is it AIM Island?
I thought it was.
Okay. Because we're talking about AIM.
Of Atlas.
But maybe it's just the fact that they've literally built AIM Island into like every Marvel book recently.
Yeah. What's his face? Shang-Chi goes up against this villain Chimera, who's pretty cool, and just the back and forth between Black Widow just being like, they have this whole giant Ocean's 11 complex plot, and Black Widow's like, why don't I just kiss the guy, grab him, drag him to the apartment, and torture the guy until he gives us what he wants. Great little back and forth between Miss Marvel and AIM agents, but the money comes in when the AIM agents with the beekeeper helmet and the full suit, like black and white tuxedo suits, come in, and they're taking away what's his face, Sunspot and Cannonball, and they basically were like, "Look, guys, do you want to fight, or do you guys just want to party?" And they ended up partying with all the AIM agents and getting them drunk and shit like that, and hanging out and shooting craps and just play and the AIM agents. It's super funny issue. Just some good action with Shang-Chi and everything like that, and just I love this issue. That was one of my favorite issues I've read this week. It was one of my favorite issues I've read in the last couple of weeks. I thought it was hilarious. I wish all the stuff with X and Nilo, and I know Bryce and Omar will yell at me, but man, I just not been liking the Avengers.
They'll yell at you about that, and then they'll say, "But I love this issue too."
But this issue is fantastic
because it's Marvel, and as long as you say you love it, they'll agree with you. And if you
Mike Deodato does the art too, and he's been such a great artist. I really like his style. The stuff he did with Bendis on Avengers, I liked all those issues. It's a dark, it's dirty style. I mean, you got to be used to it, but I do like it. So, Avengers number 11, if you get a chance.
I am evidently not stealing Brock's pick.
Okay.
But this most recent issue of Suicide Squad.
I knew that was I knew it. I'm going to pick Cross because that's Brock's next pick.
Cross?
Yes.
Why would I read that crap?
I don't know. It sounds like something you would pick.
Suicide Squad 20 got quite a bit of press.
Yeah. I liked it.
I haven't read it yet. Does Brock know? Do you want to spoil? Do not spoil, please.
Okay.
Spoil.
I am not allowed to spoil it, but it was awesome. It was wonderful.
So I, for the most part, have liked the team of Suicide Squad, but this is a very interesting addition to Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah.
So, no spoilers.
Close your ears.
No.
Come on.
No.
I want to know who it is.
Well, I will say this. The Unknown Soldier was added last issue.
Yeah.
But this is bigger.
Yeah.
They should have just swapped the, what the fuck modes.
Yeah,
I would have been happy.
Yeah. Unknown Soldier's like, whatever.
Yeah,
it's cool, but why? Like, what a random character to bring
Deathblow?
No.
Lobo?
No.
All right. Who else got one? Anyone else?
Phantom Stranger?
No.
That'd be funny. What you got, Toby? You got to pick anything?
I know. The Spectre should have joined and judged them all.
What I read? Oh no, I didn't read anything yet. So sorry.
Never anything. You ever read any comic recently? Any
Not
old
recent.
comic?
Not
do
recent.
you want to recommend to
No,
someone?
I want this to be a recent read. So
it doesn't have to be. That's the whole point of it. It's random. It's
I want
anything.
it to be a recent read, though.
Nah, pick something old that you love.
You really like Nightwing #1.
No,
go back
I'm
to
gonna
the
go
classic.
with New Warriors Omnibus. Go buy it. It's got a nice Scotty Young cover too.
It does.
See, evidently you have decided which cover you want.
Yes, I did.
That's the variant. If you want it, you better order it now. Those variants still stick around.
How much going to owe you? Like $75 on top of like this $4,000 already owe you?
I don't think it's quite that much, but maybe one day. Brock, you had a kid. What have you read? You read any comics while in the hospital?
I read.
Now, Brock came the day the kid was born, and before he goes home, he's like, I need my fucking comic books.
I need Well, that part of that
that's
was
after all of us turned to him and went, "What the fuck are you doing here, Brock?"
I'm like, I'm on my way home to get some sleep, and I'm not allowed to stop at the comic store on the way home.
So, of course, you did. So,
No,
Callie, if
I
you're
wasn't-
listening to this, he stopped by the comic book store. You have all witnesses.
No, I wasn't allowed to stop by the comic store when she was discharged because we did that with Brody. So,
But that was just to show him off, right?
yeah, I know. Here, Ryan, this is my son.
Random to pick anything. Doesn't have to be
Poop on the
random.
counter.
I'm gonna go with Aquaman.
Pants on the ground.
Okay. Just current stuff.
The current Aquaman. I read the last issue, and I really like what Johns has been doing with the character. Each
John's
story
still
is-
writing it?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Still, really? Mm-hmm.
He's going to have a 1-issue break coming up, though.
Yeah, for issue 20.
A whole
But
one-issue
John Ostrander's doing it, and I do love John Ostrander, so I'd love to see that guy get more work. He needs it.
I just find it weird that it's like in the middle of a story.
Yeah.
Meh.
But
I said weird. I didn't say horrible.
Yeah.
No, I liked Aquaman. I enjoyed the first few story arcs that were in there. The Throne of Atlantis was a good crossover.
It was awesome.
And just
Johns can do no wrong.
Where everything is going with this with the characters, like it's really interesting, and like you're like, ooh, what happens next? So,
Yeah.
I highly.
Why are you
recommend
out of
Aquaman.
the trades? Where are they?
They're sold
I know
out
they're
'cause
coming in this
They're
week.
sold out because they're good.
Well, that's okay. The trade paperback for the first volume's coming out this week, and the hardcover for the second.
Ooh, I need to get that second hardcover. I think I got the first. Let's see.
Good.
Otherwise, you need to reorder it so I can get
See,
mine.
this is what happens when I look at the shipping
Speaking of
list.
hardcovers, for people that are interested, I talked with DC today, and some of the New 52 Volume 1 hardcovers will be coming back into print, including Batman. So if you missed the hardcover version the first time around, they will be available
How about the
again.
double hardcover versions?
What's that?
Just like
when they
two
did
of the hardcovers
deluxe
into one hardcover.
with
Oh, they haven't-
oversized and
They
No?
haven't announced
Awesomeness.
that yet. I'm sure they will, though. I guarantee you they will.
I want those. Like, well, the Green Lantern, the Blackest Night hardcovers were a nice size.
Yeah. They're the same as the normal ones, but they're thick. I mean, they're thick
they're
issues.
thicker.
They're not oversized.
Yeah, but that's good enough for me. I don't like these skinny little hardcovers.
The New 52s have not been. The New 52 trades have all been, I think, a fair size. There have been no
Well,
5-issue
they've
trades.
Yeah, but they're still they look skinny to me though.
My favorite thing about the new
they're
52
6 to 8 plus
trades
issues.
and hardcovers, especially when you get into the volume 2s, is a lot of them started having mini little crossovers in them that they include in the issues, so you get these nice 8 and 9 issue trades.
Yeah, they're doing a very good job with the collection. I think I told you guys there was the last Ed Brubaker Winter Soldier trade came out from Marvel. 4 issues, 80 pages. The thing looked like a prestige format book, and it was like $15-$16 or something. Like, no, you can't do that. 6 to 8 issues, the minimum 6 issues.
That's okay.
So-
I'm still annoyed with them over Batman Incorporated, though.
Doing hardcovers and not following doing the standard hardcover size, not the over hardcover size for the New 52 versions. Meh.
Well, it just bothers the crap out of me because all of Morrison's run up into those issues, they've put out oversized.
Yeah,
I have
true.
the rest of it except the end.
But they'll just do it later. I'm sure they'll do the two.
Yes, they'll do an omnibus
No,
that I have to buy.
They'll do a
just
single.
to-
They'll do a single oversized volume for the New 52.
Okay, you heard
Batman
it here first.
Incorporated.
Ryan has
think
promised me.
Confirmed.
I think as fans, we just need to set the standard. Like, this is how it needs to go.
No, I guarantee you
Do
what will
it.
happen when Volume 3s start coming out. They will then do a oversized hardcover of 1 and 2 because that's the Volume 1 soft covers are coming out when the Volume 2 hardcovers are coming out. Therefore, when Volume 3 is coming out, they'll have the oversized hardcover for 1 and 2s out. Calling it.
But they've already started soliciting 3s.
It'll be coming soon. You'll see it in the next big DC. Like, here's all our shit coming out like in January through June of 2014. Calling it. I know what I'm talking about, dude. I know what these guys are doing.
Well, you're
I have
you're setting my hopes pretty high.
a sixth sense about this type of stuff. All right, we're
I
gonna.
still think they're just going to screw me over and put out a omnibus of all of them.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to screw you over because that's what they want. They want money.
And it works.
They don't want your library to look good. They want money.
My library does look good, damn it.
Except for that Batman Incorporated section.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
We're going to wrap up now. You know what's going to look
Sorry,
great?
Charlie.
My New Warriors Volume 1 next to my New Warriors Classics Volume 1 next to my New Warriors Bound Copy Volume 1 next to my New Warriors Omnibus Volume 1. All different sizes.
I'm
and
just
colors
waiting
and
until you
shapes.
buy it enough times that you have an entire shelf on a bookshelf.
all New Warrior books.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for
We're
Leanne to
looking-
take a picture that I'm posting, and I can't believe in dating this guy. Because you know that's going to happen.
There's already enough that she could do that with. She don't have to wait for more New
she's done
Warrior
that plenty.
collections. Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. If you like this episode and you want to go listen to more, you can go to www.geekbox.net or www.comicsconspiracy.
You know, I'm making fun of you, but I do that with Hush. I have all the single issues. I have them probably twice.
Biz.
I have the black and white hardcover. I have the individual hardcovers, and I got the combined hardcovers. And I have the Absolute Edition.
That's nice. I have a few of those too.
And I bought them all from you, Ryan.
If you want to go talk
So I
to
got
us,
the soft covers of Preacher and the hard.
that mute button still works, guys. If you guys want to go to forums at geekbox.net, you can go there and talk to us about all the various comic book stuff that we all like. And various other things. So
Charlie's pretty good about getting rid of the duplicates, though.
There
I want to learn from Charlie, but it hasn't worked yet.
is also various things that we all do. And if you guys won't stop talking, I won't plug you. And that includes conspiratorBrock.com, comicsintokind.com. That's Omar's blog. The Infinite Long Box podcast. That is Charlie's podcast that he does with Jordan Fagley and various other people. Jordan, we talked about earlier in this episode.
Where they actually talk about comic books.
Hey,
Yes,
Jordan.
yes, we do.
Hey, Jordan, how's it going?
In fact, we even spoiled Suicide Squad, so
Oh.
don't listen to that. Brock.
I will go home and read it. Okay,
Spoiler
it's at the
alert.
bottom of the stack because I want to enjoy it.
Brock is
But
gonna go
because
into
of
the
all
car
of
and
you
listen to
guys
the
talking
podcast.
about it. I got to go home and read it now.
And you can find that
I'll
at
tweet about it
I've
later.
just been bothering you about it for like
I know,
a week.
You bothered, dude. He tweeted me.
Yes, I
Charlie
did.
never tweets me about anything.
Dude, that sounds so great. Charlie tweeted
this
me.
outro is awesome.
Where did he tweet you? Just to be exact.
And that is infinitelongbox.com.
Infinite long box.
Have we even gotten to the Twitter handles yet?
Yeah.
You can just talk louder.
So you can go visit these people on... If you go to twitter.com, you can follow us on there. I'm Ryan Higgins Ryan. Brock is Brock Sager. Omar is Comics in the Kind. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. Go find us on there. Bryce is on there too. Hopefully he'll be back next week. He's he's Larson Bryce. Bryce Larson's Larson Bryce. Various other things we could do. Go on our websites and everything. The Comic Conspiracy, geekbox.net, that's our email if you want to send us some email. It's good stuff there. Go on our digital website, digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. Go buy some comics on there. Support us. Give us some money.
Come down to Big Wow and see us this weekend?
Yes, Saturday and Sunday at the San Jose Convention Center. We will have a table at the Big Wow Comic Fest 2013. Stan Lee will be there.
You can take a picture of Brock.
Neil Adams will be there. Olivia will be there.
Olivia?
Yeah.
Munn?
No,
Oh.
just Olivia. Thomas Jane will be there for some reason.
Ooh.
Jane Wielden will be there.
Maybe we could
for
film Dirty Laundry too.
for some reason.
That would be awesome.
But we're going to have a bunch of comics there, so come buy some comics from us and come say hey. All right, we'll catch you guys next week after Big Wow.